Linda Glover Gooch. If you don't know who I am, welcome. We are focusing on drawing and getting better at creating our art. So I am anxious to get going today. I did a pencil drawing. This is the canyon out towards the east entrance. So it's not at the Grand Canyon, but it's that beautiful road after you leave Cameron and you head towards the canyon. I think parts of it they call the Little Colorado. And I'm going to start actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my horizon line in there. So this was kind of a smoky, hazy day. So there's not a lot going on, but I'm going to use, so this is the Prisma marker, have the brush tip. Again, I know people are having a hard time finding these, but we'll see if they come back on the market. But I'm going to use the 20% and just get my horizon line in there. Get it in there and set where my horizon line. The sky is going to stay the color of the paper. It's just about the lightest out there. So I'm going to establish that horizon line way off in the distance. And that was 20%. Then I'm just going to jump in here with the black marker and I'm going to get my trees and bushes started. Now, whoops, a little line. I jumped out there, but oh well. We'll just enlarge this tree a little bit. There we go. All right. And you know, it's going to be every individual person how much detail that you want to put into your scene. This is a little no-tan. So I do these almost, I would say, out of every painting that I paint, I will do this 7 to 8 out of every painting I paint. I do this 7 to 8 times. Like sometimes I'm running late and I'm in a hurry to get something done for a deadline and I might just go, I just gotta paint. I just gotta get moving and I won't do this. But almost every painting that I paint starts with one of these. It helps establish a thought of where I'm going, right? It helps give me a feeling of what is happening and is it going to work? And do I actually like the scene? Sometimes I've done this and I'm just throwing in some very, there's some shadow lines going across here, the lay of the land. I'm just adding a little interest here, all right, to this area. So this sometimes I find out I don't like it after all. So can you kind of see where that's going just with the start? And all I used is the black. This is a warm black. I have a cool black and a warm black. I really can't tell the difference when I use them. I don't think there's much of a difference in them, my opinion. Now, these nice big abstract shapes. I love that about this. So I'm going to jump in here and I want to make this fairly dark, even though it's hazy. There's, you know, some fairly dark shadows, and obviously they're not going to be as dark as what I see up front, but I do want some weight to it. So let's use 60%. I'm going to jump up here and I'm going to start designing this outer edge. So it's this edge here that is really what is going to matter, right? Even though I'm going to go solid with it, I'm thinking about my design, you know, and following this here. Now these dry a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. It looks different when you, excuse me, on film. All right, hang in there with me. The reason why I did the drawing early is time's sake. Because I know these Facebook Lives, you guys don't have all day, right? You got somewhere to be, like lunch. Give myself, trying to keep my hand out of your way. You know, and when I'm doing these little notans, boy, out on location, they're really quick and dirty for me. In here, when I'm in the studio, I use a little more time. I put a little bit more into them. Top edge is important. It gets a little bit lighter as we go back there. I might change my value in the pen. We only have 5 values, 4 values in black, and black is a value. So we only have right. Now I want to design a little bit of just a tad bit of detail to some of this down this cliff edge, right? To help it read like that's really jagged cliffs out there. They won't stay the paper color. I think I'll jump up here with 20%. If I'm not sure, I will start light. Yeah, and I think that's probably about the right value. There are times I'll come back over with the same marker twice to get it just a tad bit darker. See how that looks way darker? It's going to dry lighter. It's just, I thought I picked the wrong marker up there for a minute. Less, less, less as we go back, right? I got a little thick on this line right here. So let's go to a 40% marker here for the, there is some back canyon lands. There's a dark cast shadow across that area. Now, one thing I didn't say about these markers, there are 2 ends. There's a finer end, and then this is the brush end. If you're having a hard time finding these, there's another set, a different brand that people have been sending me emails about that they've been purchasing, and you can try them out. Now, I'm going to suggest some of this land back here where there's some more shadows, more of the canyon that goes back there further, and I'm using 40%. I don't want to make this too dark, right? I want to keep it back there in its proper domain, but I do want to have a little bit of a feeling of ledges. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the 20% on the lay of this flat land to get rid of the white. So now when you're using these lighter colors, you can just kind of go over your trees and everywhere else because it's not really going to affect it. But I only want the sky to stay creamy color. I'm not using white paper. I sort of enjoy that cream color, although there's times when I probably think I wish that I had white. Now I'm going to pick up the 60 one more time, see if I can maybe enhance a few darker darks by leaving some of it one coat and some of it 2 coats, just to add a tad bit more interest. This is fairly dark back here too. I won't do it back there so much. You know, maybe a hit or miss thing. I could use the fine point, but the fine point goes too dark. Usually I'll use the micron up close here. All right, so I just want to enhance some of this. I have got this flat ground here that I need to deal with. So I'm going to do it in 2 markers. I'm going to use the 20% for right here along this ledge, and then as I get closer, I'm going to maybe grab 40% and get the front foreground. Is that 40? Yes. Get this front a tad bit darker. Actually, I'm going to go, see, and these are things you just test as you go. I'm going to hit a few spots with 60 up close, right? Things are darker in value as they get closer. Helps give us just a tad bit more feeling of up close. Definite shadow from this tree. Maybe a little bit of interest back here of some stuff. Got to be careful when we start. There is a slight, just barely back here, some stuff happening. I'll just add a little bit of interest there. I wish I hadn't gotten quite that thick with that line, but it is what it is. Maybe if I raise this ledge, we can make it look a little more authentic. Maybe that's a little bit better. That was bugging me. So at this point, you know, that's not looking too bad. I think this feels a little too light. I'm gonna grab some 40% and see if I can do like some of that horizontal strata for a little bit more interest. I'm gonna stay simple back here. Maybe this could get darker down here at the base where it goes deeper in and not stay quite so light. And it's going to be totally your choice what you do. I'm going to add a little bit of interest of stuff on the flat ground. I am using 40%. Where my base was 20, then these little marks I did with 60. Now this is the 40%. And again, these lighten up a little bit as you work. I'm going to go ahead and take this 20% back here. I'm going to fill in that little white strip that got left there when I did the horizon. That's a little bit better. I like to see some detail in my stuff. There's one thing that bugs me. I don't like some of this right here. Oops, 60%. I'm okay. I'm going to fix this design just a little bit. Now that's going to lighten up. And I just didn't like the way that was looking. I don't like that white spot there. Holidays. Get rid of your holidays. These are holidays. It's way too light behind that. Now, with these little no-tans, how much work are you wanting to put into them, right? It's going to be totally a personal choice. I think a few cast shadows. This is 60 under these trees, just barely. Let's put a few cast shadows there to plant them. Micron, I'm using the 03. I just want to come in here and right up close. I never use these microns like back here. Could they tweak out some cool looking stuff? They could, but for this purpose, I just don't think that we want to do that. But I could like have coming up off of this ledge some of this stuff. There are some things up close. Weeds, sticks, branches. I mean, how much doodling you choose to do will be totally your choice. I mean, we could have a runaway. I could have a runaway right now with it. All right, it's just kind of the fun. Like, this guy is okay. Now here's, let me show you what to do. You go, oh, I really didn't like that so much. Pick up the black marker and let's just enlarge this foreground bush just a hair. That's, if you have a runaway, you can fix it. So, and that's what these are used for. Is there anywhere else? Like there's these trees. I don't really want to get too busy with it. As you can see, I got rid of one already. There. I would say that's pretty much a wrap. So we used 20 for horizon. I used 60% for these cliffs. I used black for the trees. I used 20% for the flat lay of the ground and came back tweaking a little bit with 40 and 60. I used 40 for some of these lines, designs of the strata going horizontally. All of this deep. Now, this is a good place where you can see how you can duplicate over a second layer. So this is 60 and this is 60. But this one I came back over like 2 or 3 times. Now I'm going to send you all back to your easels, get in your studios or wherever you do your creative work and get after it.